All right, everyone. Welcome back to Bumper Shoot, where we're covering life's chaos with humor and heart. And like I said, you may have heard it because we may have played it, or we may not have because we're honest and we're transparent. And we might have played Ricky's before this, or we might be playing this for the first time. So I don't remember. Who did we interview last? Were we
before
today?
Ricky?
Yeah. Well, last
Cam. It was Cam, but there was no one after Cam.
Yeah. The one before that, it was just us three. No, we did one questions about it.
Oh, that's right. Kelly loved that one. She commented on Bumper Shoot Charity.
She's so cute.
That was such a fun one.
That was super fun. We sounded like we were in another room. I was like, we were kind of echoey, but it was really fun. And actually, I think we should do that again sometime. Like, it was super fun.
I actually loved it.
Yeah, it's a good filler one.
I was nervous at first, but actually loved it.
Yeah, so if you didn't listen, it was one where we detoured and just like, what did I say? I think it was get to know us.
Yeah,
it was like get to know us.
Yep.
And we just asked some random questions and they kind of sprawled into other conversation and it was fun.
Yeah.
It was super fun. But we today, so in our full transparency, we are recording 2 episodes today, which is Tuesday, which we usually record on Mondays.
That's right.
And it's a Tuesday, and we're recording 2 because I will be gone next week because it's Logan's 21st birthday.
Woo-hoo!
We're going to be in Vegas. He can kick the fake ID now and live normal life.
Yes.
No, he lost his fake, so they give you 2 when you order them. And I don't remember how he lost the first one, but the
probably
second
got it
one,
and take it from him.
Well, he did, but I can't remember when and where.
Yeah.
But when we were in Vegas for my birthday weekend, I think, with Morgan Wallen, we were going to the all adults pool, and he was the only not adult. And I was like, just come with me. So he was between Andrew and I. So there was a group that got there first, which was Alex and Allison and Luca, and then Logan and I and Andrew and Jessica and I go, just get between us and we'll totally like bookend you. It'll be fine. And so literally, and I might have shared this, I don't remember, but I get there and I give the guy my ID. They have to card everybody.
Of course.
Logan's, they didn't even blink. They grabbed his ID, barely glanced at it, and kicked him out of line.
What?
And I was like,
He told me, I don't think it was on.
how do they know that from a glance? Like,
Did they scan it?
no.
How did they know?
They kicked his butt out, and he was like, he just threw his hands up and was like, whatever. And I wanted to be mad, and I wanted to say, why did you do that? And how did you know? And like, I wanted to be so mad, and I was like, I can't be mad. Like, the kid was trying to get in with a fake ID. But anyway, that was his second copy. So I go, dude, it was the beginning of May, and his birthday is July 20th. So
Gonna have to just wait.
So we leave on Monday to go to Vegas for his birthday. So we'll be gone Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, which means we won't be able to podcast, which means we're doubling up today.
Yes.
So
let's do it.
Doubling up today means our second guest today is Miss Sabrina.
Yay. Hi, Sabrina.
So we are in like a friendship series, kind of, but we did a Charity for Charity series, but we still haven't talked to all the Charity for Charity people.
A little bit elusive, huh?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to like nail everybody down.
It is.
It's hard.
So in light of that, we're like, well, when we can get them, we'll plug them in. So now like the Charity for Charity people are detours-ish, kind of.
But we're still friends.
Yeah.
I mean, no.
It's a combination.
For sure. That is true. No, we're a family. Charity for Charity is a family.
Yeah, I'd put that in a family.
Yes, for sure. So Sabrina came here to be with us today. And Sabrina, I think I'll let you explain how you became a part of the Charity for Charity family.
Oh, I have to think back. I think it was Donna, right? Brewer. She nominated us, maybe?
I think so.
Shortly after Ford came out of the hospital and we were home.
So what happened to Ford?
Ford was 2.5 and went through a near drowning event, and he suffered a massive brain injury and was hospitalized for a very long time in the ICU down in San Diego. But Donna's daughter, Cassidy, who everybody knows, and Ford shared some actually miraculous similarities. And Donna's oldest daughter and I had gone to high school together. And I had been perusing the hallways in the PICU in the first few days of Ford being in the hospital, and I kept seeing this specific photo hanging there, and I was like, why do I recognize this person? And so as it would go, it was Cassidy. And Cassidy had the very same team that saved her life, also saved my son Ford's life. And they were in the same hospital room. What? And some crazy, amazing miracles. And actually, the first time they came back to the hospital after Cassidy had been released was to come visit Ford, which was amazing in and of itself because I know that had to have been traumatic and some serious PTSD because those days are the scariest days of your life. And they walked in like the brave warriors they are, and they didn't bat an eyelash, and they just prayed over Ford. And so I think shortly after that is probably when we were nominated. I don't remember, but we got a call. That would have been in like July, and then I think sometime around February.
What
I
year?
want to say of 2019.
Yeah, they always know the dates. I don't know the dates.
I only know
they all
that
blur.
because I was pregnant, and we were gifted a trip to Disneyland, and I was worried we might not be able to go because I was due right around that time. And my kids all said, "Do you remember what they said?"
Yes, that was. So this is funny. So we asked them to come to the office. And I don't think you guys even knew, or did we ask you?
We didn't know.
Yeah,
we
just
didn't. Were invited to come and meet you guys.
Yeah, so this family was bonus bennies. They weren't star bennies. They were bonus bennies because of what happened to Ford and the timing. And like we wanted to grant a wish ASAP.
Right.
So they have a family. At the time, your family was how many?
It was the 5 of them. There was 5.
It was 5, and then 6, mom and dad, so 7 of you.
Mm-hmm.
And they came into the office, and it was hilarious because we were so excited. We were sending them on this private tour at Disneyland, and we were so excited to announce it. And then what happened?
Every kid's little dream.
Yes,
right? Like
every kid's dream.
Every kid's dream. The most
Everyone would be like
amazing
screaming and jumping up and down. What happened?
I think it was Fisher, if I remember, who would have been like 5, maybe at the time, 4 or 5. I don't remember. Everyone was like, "We have this amazing thing planned for you guys. What do you think
tour,
it is?"
da-da-da-da.
And Fisher was like, "Well, I hope it's not Disneyland because our dad said we'll never go to Disneyland, so we're not allowed to go."
We're not allowed to go to Disneyland. We were like, our eyes like popped out of our heads. We were like,
Who told him that he couldn't go?
My husband.
so there's a reason. Why did you guys say that?
I think it was more because it would have cost us like $2,000 just to get in. And
Yeah.
so
they had a big family, and it was going to cost too much. So they would say, "You're not allowed to go."
We're never going to Disneyland. Forget about that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
my kids weren't like super into Disney, which is I think how that conversation had come up.
Yeah.
But it weirdly enough, it had been like 2 days prior. Like we didn't know. It was a new thing. It wasn't like something we had talked about months ago or something. It was just this random conversation we had in the car driving or something one day. And then we get in there, and Fisher is like my spokesman, I like to say, for the family. He will speak up for everybody, even though he's the middle. He's the third one. And he just straight up, no qualms, was like, "Well, I hope it's not Disneyland because we can't go." Our dad said we can't go.
We're not allowed to go. We were like, so I think we whispered to you.
I think you were like, "Is it okay?" But
are they allowed to go?
Yeah.
And you're like, "Yeah, they're allowed to go. We
Yeah.
just didn't think we could ever afford it."
Yeah.
So we're like, "Okay, well, guys, we asked your parents like right in that moment." It was hilarious.
What did they do?
Were they excited
They
after
were
that?
so
They were
excited.
very excited. You could see that they were very excited. They just didn't know if they were allowed to be excited, but they were still a little bit unsure, which is super great parenting. Like,
I think they were just like, "Well, what?" Like we were just talking about how we couldn't go, and now all of a sudden we're going. You know, I think it was just one of those moments but it didn't last very long. And then they showed a picture of somebody printed Mickey Mouse, right?
Yeah, I think we had like a picture of.
We told them. And then, like, the entire time we were there, we kept telling them, "You're never coming back. Because no one is going to ever be able to outdo this." They didn't wait in a single
No, they
line.
went on the private
They did
tour.
The private tour.
Yeah.
They had a
How
hotel
awesome.
stay. It was amazing.
But bigger than that, the miracle was that Ford.
We literally closed down the park. So he had been...
stayed away. Like he stayed.
We were the very last people out. of Disneyland at 1:39 in the morning or something.
Oh my gosh.
And Ford hadn't rallied like that.
He hadn't been feeling well. We didn't know at the time that he was ill again, separately from his initial injury. And it was a few months later that we found out what the issue was. But it was literally a miracle because the entire day, from start to finish, I think if I remember, we spent the day before or the evening before at the hotel because we knew we couldn't get him out the door. And we got up that morning and we were going, and he never fussed. He didn't do too much.
He stayed awake.
He stayed awake. He was awake. He was very present, super opinionated. He was riding along in his stroller. He was
nonverbal at the time to explain to people the stat that what was his state.
How old was he?
That's what I was going to ask. How old was he?
At the time of his drowning, he was 2.5. At this time, he would have been pushing 3.5. His birthday is in August. And he was a normal toddler before his drowning. And at the time of his drowning, he suffered 90 minutes of cardiac arrest and was pronounced dead multiple times in the meantime. And by literally the grace of God, the doctor had declared him, told us, they called off the helicopter, said, I'm sorry, he's gone. And this nurse, who had to have been some form of an angel, actually, it's similar to what is going on in the headlines right now. Have you guys heard about this baby that was found in the morgue that had a heartbeat?
Yes, I did hear
I
about that.
I heard a little bit.
I don't know the story.
Yeah,
but
I don't know the
Actually
story.
lived that.
I heard the headline
He didn't
of it,
go
yeah.
to the morgue, but we were same thing in the ER. So she was standing next to me. I'll never forget it. There was this crazy argument that ensued in the middle of all this chaos. The doctor was super cold and callous. And this nurse was like, I found a pulse. And the doctor was like, no, you didn't. He's
In his
dead.
groin, right?
It was in his femoral artery. Yeah.
my
So,
gosh.
which is your strongest pulse. And we had watched, he was flatlined. I mean, there was no
crazy.
indication per the
crazy.
machine that he was still with us. But yes, after 93 minutes, I believe, he had no heartbeat and came back. And he was severely compromised after that. He was in a medically induced coma for, I think, 3.5 weeks. He woke up on mine and my husband's anniversary out of a coma. And he was very, very present and aware. He just lost his voice and he lost his motor function by and large. And so they told us if he ever woke up, he'd be a complete vegetable. We were told to donate his organs, all kinds of wonderful things. And Ford was like, nope.
Not having it.
Not today. So we went on a crazy, cool and scary and a lot of life lesson long journey in a 3.5 year period with him before he graduated onto heaven. And now we're going to be at 5 years in August.
No. What?
5 years. And he's as much present today as
Oh,
he
yeah,
was
he
the day
is.
before. I just walked yesterday. I was doing something with my horse. And not yesterday. On last Thursday, I was doing something with my horse. And out of the blue, my oldest son was with me. And like from the sky with zero birds or anything in the air, this white feather just came like floating down right in front of us.
way.
And that's not even the coolest of the things.
Yeah,
but
there's
he's
a
just
ton. He's
always
always-
around.
yeah, he is
And he's always
always.
around when there's like major life things coming or birthdays, or he lets us know that he's super very present. And his dad just had a birthday last week, and we're just kind of in the middle of lots of things. And so he's very much here. I'm sure he's hanging out in here with us right now.
Yeah. Hey, 40, what's going on?
So I'm sure.
He's all, you talking about me? I'm going to be there.
Sweet.
Well, so we had the honor of meeting you guys. I think we met you that day that you came to the office,
That
right?
was the first day. And Cora is 7, so it's been 7.
And she wasn't
and a half
even
years.
there then. And we literally like there's, I would say, so the Charity for Charity family is ordained. Like God sends, I swear God sends everyone. So we connect a lot. But, when with Star Bennies, we get a lot of repetition of getting to know them and stuff. With Bonus Bennies, we don't necessarily get all those meetings and interactions and stuff. And there was like a cool connection right when we met you. And it was like we'd never not known you. And it never left. And this family, even so when Ford went to be with Jesus, We were there for all of
He
that.
orchestrated it all. I literally couldn't have done it without.
We were
Stepped
part
in
of it.
and no, you weren't a part of it.
Yeah, we
You were the main show.
No, we weren't.
Yes, you were.
But we were just honored to be a little bit of a part of it, and sometimes you lean into those around you that go through those things, and sometimes you go, I need to detach. Like everybody has their own way of dealing with that stuff, and we always hope that people don't leave us. But it happens, that they're like, well, and I get it. You got to move on, or maybe it's too close of a connection, and it makes it a little hard, or whatever.
Right,
but
yeah.
Ford's family leaned in, and
Yeah, you're stuck with us.
yeah,
Oh,
well,
good.
that's what we usually say. So we were like so happy, and I'll say with the kids, and it's something with Charity for Charity that we've treasured all along is the kids tend to have a connection with us that they don't even really know why. They just know
Your
that
family.
it's a place that they feel. And so Ford's siblings, and even Cora, who wasn't around the whole time. Like Cora
She was
she had a
born a couple months
purpose,
after.
right? Like she has a very big
She
purpose
did.
in her life.
You want to know about her purpose?
Yes, let's
Yes.
tell. Let's tell.
So, Cora was actually due 1 year to the day after Ford's drowning accident. And that was not on our radar. There was other plans. We thought we were done a couple of kids ago, but we definitely thought we were done actually the day of Ford's drowning. There was an appointment that was supposed to happen that never did. And Cora came, and I will never forget that same child who said we couldn't go to Disneyland also told me that I was pregnant with Cora before I knew. But the one child we're forgetting is the one just above her. He's Sutton. And Sutton
Little
was
Sutty.
Sutty was
Little
3
Sutty.
weeks old the day of Ford's drowning. So
3?
3 weeks old.
3 weeks.
Oh, 3 weeks.
Yes. He was a newborn.
That's what
and
she left for.
I left
to
Sutton.
change his diaper.
No,
Right?
I went to take Fisher to the bathroom.
Oh.
Ford had gone to the bathroom, and I had given Sutton to the person that I was with that day.
Oh, okay.
And that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
But anyways, Sutton was a baby still. And so after Ford was released, after a little over 4 months in the ICU, we took him straight to Louisiana to go do hyperbaric oxygen therapy. And we had been in Louisiana about 3 days. And Fisher just casually walked by me. I think I was unloading something out of the car and was like, "There's a baby in your tummy." And I was like, no, he's over here. Like, here's the baby. I mean, he was a baby. He was only, I think he was like 8 months old, something like that.
my
Because Sutton and Cora, no, he couldn't have been that old. Sutton and Cora are exactly a year apart. So he was younger than that. He might have been 4 months old, something like that.
gosh.
And so anyways, Fisher was like, "No, there's a baby in your tummy, Mommy, and it's a girl." What? And I was like, and I had prayed. I'm not even
That's some chili
shy about
willies.
this.
That is.
I have, my oldest is a girl, and I
good.
have 4 boys.
Yeah.
And
That's
I
what I was
prayed
gonna
for
ask. Me
another
too.
girl
Yeah.
for 4
That's
boys.
what I wanted to know. So your oldest is a girl.
Oldest is
And
a
the
girl.
youngest
and-
is a girl.
Yes, and the
Okay.
youngest is a girl. So each time I found out I was pregnant with my boys, I don't love my boys any less, but they
Right.
even know I
Yeah.
was praying for another girl.
Yeah.
I have brothers, and I just wanted another girl.
Right.
And so each time we went to, the reveal or whatever, I was like, oh, okay. On to the next. So when Fisher walked up to me and said that there was a girl in my stomach, I was like, it like stopped me in my tracks.
Oh my gosh.
Because I was like, why would he? I've always believed kids are super close to the spirit, right? Like
Yes.
they are so innocent.
for sure,
And
yeah.
so not once did I question him, but I went inside. I didn't even tell my husband, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, no,
You had no symptoms or anything.
nothing yet. I would have been like weeks, like
Oh
under
my
a month pregnant at the
gosh.
Oh
time.
my God.
And so I was
crazy.
like, I have a baby. And then Ford was a full-time job. We
Yeah.
didn't want nursing.
Mm-hmm.
We refused in-home nursing because I just didn't want anyone else taking that responsibility. I just felt like that was my purpose, and I was going to do it better than anybody else. So
Right. Yeah.
it was what it was.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't really, God, like, really? I cannot. There's no way this cannot be true. And so a couple weeks went on, I started getting sick. And I was like, no freaking way. So I told Frank, and he was like,
great.
What?
I don't think you even said anything. And I was like, I'm going to go to the store and go get a pregnancy test.
Oh my gosh.
And sure enough. So anyways, all that to say, immediately when we were in Louisiana, we started seeing billboards about cord blood. And that was weird. There was always this number 44 associated with it. And it was strange, but
40.
Yes.
40.
There was just so many things that I have always been someone who I feel like I'm close with the spirit and I see things maybe differently than other people, and I just weirdly pay attention to patterns
Signs,
and signs. And so I started seeing it and I was like, this is weird. Okay. So anyways, we got through our time in Louisiana, and as we were about to leave, we were there almost 4 months. And
With all the kids?
and all the kids, Lily, this was an amazing time in our life. Lily was in gymnastics. My oldest daughter, was a gymnast, and the whole basis of this was her teammate's mom was supposed to be watching Ford, and so Lily has been through a lot, and eventually she had to leave gymnastics. But this amazing, incredible charity for charity type group of people in Louisiana, they owned a gym, and they took Lily in. She trained just the same as she would have at home for 25 plus hours a week and ever charge us a cent. They wanted her to be in a good place mentally. She was 7 at the time, 8, I think, actually.
What a blessing.
Yeah, there was just so much. I
What a
literally
critical
could
time.
write a book on all these miracles, but there was this family as we were leaving, and this is what I was trying to say, who was going to do a trial at Duke University for sibling cord blood. And there'd only been less than a handful documented cases where the siblings were a perfect match. And the study was that Duke would allow you to bank your cord blood, but it had to be from a sibling. We weren't trying to have Cora. Cora was not on our radar. Cora.
You didn't even know you were pregnant with her.
It was like the running joke in the hospital. Like one time, that all it took. Like it was.
Damn it.
It was just
Close my
even the
legs.
nurses when we went back to visit, they were like, "Where did this kid come from?" So, anyways,
Oh my
We know she was meant to be.
she was meant to be. And so, long story short, we didn't end up going through Duke, which we were going to go through. We later found out that there was some other things that I wasn't comfortable with. And then this doctor, whose address happened to have the number 44 in it, showed up in California, where we wouldn't have to take all the kids across country and go through all of this. And my little Cora is a perfect blood match for Ford. So
Yes.
at the time,
Chills.
Cora was born 2 months. No, not 2 months. She was born 2.5 weeks, I think, after we went to Disneyland. So Ford's drowning anniversary was March 29th. We were there like the 13th or something of March. And Cora was born April 1st, which I happen to love because I think God has quite a sense of humor.
April Fool's Day.
She
God
was
does.
born on April Fool's Day, and there's no April Fools about her. She literally saved Ford's life multiple times.
That's amazing.
We didn't know he was sick, and really sick, and dying actively. And we infused the first round of cord blood into him, and it became a bridge that kept him alive long enough until we were able to find this infection, because we didn't know the time, but he was fully septic. And her blood was pure enough that it fought the infection enough to keep it at bay so that he could get into the hospital. And then after he got healthy, which was another long round in the hospital, it was like another 6 or 8 weeks, he came home and we gave him another round. And previously, before he had gotten sick, while I was pregnant and while I had my baby on the ground, we were doing therapy daily. And I got him, they literally said he'd be a vegetable. And I got him to sit up. I got him to start doing all kinds of things again that the doctor said he never would. But after Cora's, I think it was her second round, it's a very intricate process when they collect the cord blood, and you never know how much you're going to get. But the idea is that you don't clamp immediately, because it allows that literal life-saving blood to pump at its full capacity. And we got the most documented in history as of now.
Wow.
And this is from the doctor who collected it, but he was super into this. And that was able to give us 4 different series of injections. We would have only gotten 1 at Duke. And
Oh my gosh.
we got way more blood than we thought. And so the second round.
At the address of 44.
At the address of 44.
So cool.
She started to give him his voice back. So the next round of cord blood, we started to see sounds come
Yeah, I
back and
remember
words
that.
starting to come back. So much awareness. He was cortically blind in one eye from the brain injury damage, and he started to track us better with that eye. I'm a huge proponent for cord blood infusions and stem cells because that's what it is stem cells, so
Yeah.
not just cord blood.
Yeah.
So stem cells are really amazing, and the FDA doesn't love them for
'Cause they fix
brain injury
people?
because they do
Right?
fix
Yeah.
people. And
We
I've
know
seen
they don't
it.
like stuff that fixes
They
people.
definitely don't like it.
No.
But
I don't
Nothing
I
that
don't
works.
understand that at
We're
all.
not, yeah, they can't get behind things that work.
Right.
you don't want me to open.
Yeah, that's a whole nother. That's a whole podcast in and of itself.
have a
You need to
lot
go.
of
You
opinions on
JFK or whatever his name is.
Yes, remember I met him.
I
I
know.
have pictures.
You
With
guys are
him.
destined
We
to be.
definitely chatted too. He helped with some of Ford's stuff actually.
You know what I think is amazing is when you. I mean, obviously, like you live your life. You're doing your thing. Your kids are fine. Like you don't have any clue about the resources and the things that are out there. Not until you're faced with something like this. I mean, that sounds like oh well, duh, but it is something that like you kind of take for granted when you don't face that, and then you find out, and then like for us going through that with you and learning all the things that you were learning. I mean, we don't know all the things that you know because you know a lot of things, but that's the same with a lot of the parents in Charity for Charity. They know so much, but the little bit that we get to know, you get really frustrated and like angry at
The system.
the system, not at the doctors themselves. They are only working with what they have to work with. And there's a lot of things that, you know, hoops people have to jump through and laws that they have to abide by. But when you say a system,
It's a system.
it's a system. It's the big daddy that says, no, we don't want you to
pharmaceutical.
get good. There's no money in that. There is money in this. And the more that we learn, and I try to be very, I don't want to say PC, but more like considerate of the fact that I'm not here as an expert of anything, but I just hear what I hear and know what I know, and I'm very, very frustrated with a lot of things. And I feel like when you see a pattern of money being a driving force behind all this, and you know personally the people that suffer because of that, it's very frustrating. It's
It
very
is frustrating,
disheartening.
and it's so sad because you're made to be like I can't even tell you how many people used to message me. Luckily, I have thick skin and I'm redheaded. You can't see me, but my red hair very much.
We'll send a picture out.
Very
Yeah.
much matches my personality, and I'm so grateful that the Lord blessed me with that because there were some like lioness, teeth out, knocked down, drag out
100%.
fights in the hospital, and I mean, I went to bat for my kid.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
And not just him. After his injury, it's funny how God works, right? Like when he knows and he has put a calling on your life and set you apart for something, nothing is gonna
Stands
get
in the
your
way. Yeah, nothing.
Does not matter who or what or what weapon forms.
Exactly.
It's not going to stop you. And so we've helped save well over 500 kids now and kind of fight with the hospital systems. And luckily, it has become a little bit less of a fight. Did you guys follow that little girl in Texas that had like legislature in her favor because Texas children said they weren't going to treat her? She was brain dead and all this. I didn't personally follow up. Sometimes I just get too busy with my own kids that I don't stay like
Yeah.
in the loop on things. But there's been a lot of forward progress, and I believe, I don't know that my husband would agree with this, but I believe that Ford was here for that purpose. We had him for 6 years, right?
To save all these
he
kids.
was sent.
Yeah.
He was sent to be a literal like life changer and a trailblazer, and he and I did that.
Yeah.
And that part is, it takes away. I miss him terribly, right? Like I wish he was here.
He's
but I
never
also-
out of your mind.
He's never out of my mind, but
never.
also that sure knowledge from the Lord that he was sent with a very divine purpose, and
Yeah.
that I got to watch it firsthand. Like I literally think people think I'm nuts because they haven't lived through some of this
Right,
stuff.
yeah.
And I've never been, I was shy. I didn't talk about my faith openly before Ford's drowning, but I remember distinctly having this impression as they loaded him in the ambulance from the pool that I got on Facebook, which I was on Facebook, but it was like minimal at the time. And I just like said, I'm asking the masses for prayers in my heart. And I remember thinking, I don't want to look back on this post in a year from now, my son being dead, and regret that I could have had this opportunity.
Yeah.
Right.
And from
There's
that
so much
moment
power in
on,
prayer.
Yes.
so
I
much
agree.
power. And then in the hospital that same night, I just knew that this was a divine walk. And I thought it would end differently, to be 100%
Yeah.
honest. I did not think. We still to this day don't know how Ford died. And I actually love that. There
Yeah.
was zero anything.
There's no blame game. It's just
Well, there wasn't
like,
a blame game, but there wasn't a specific event.
Oh, yeah.
There was nothing that was found in his autopsy. We were out of state on vacation a week after his birthday with all my other kids, and we had to stay because I had to be investigated
Oh my
What?
for the second time.
Are you kidding?
No, the coroner
I kind of forgot that
was
for a
very
minute, but
nasty.
you're right.
So he
We had to
passed
stay.
away on vacation.
We woke up one morning and he was gone. No sign of
Yeah.
anything.
Gosh.
You remember I sent you that
Yeah.
the text? I said Ford's gone.
I
But
do.
nothing happened.
And
He was, something was, but you just don't know what, and you're at peace with that.
I don't know if something was.
well,
But
I
everything
love
came back okay from the.
Everything came back fine. Personally, and I don't, again, care how crazy it sounds, but I just think that the Lord came for him,
Yep.
and that was it.
Well, I
Yeah.
was gonna touch on that because we talk about, so it's not a Christian podcast, we're not a Christian organization, but God just keeps showing up
I was about
undeniably.
to say, Charity, you
And
need to
that's
start
like-
talking about me more.
Well, and we don't hesitate. I'll tell you, and to know me is to know that
Yes.
that is my life. But I think that what I like about it, first of all, that because we have people that follow us and people that it's not like you're not like searching for the Christian podcast, but it's real time, real witnessing of the power of the Lord, and that's something you don't need to be set up for. It's just He shows up constantly. Something that we see in a pattern with Charity for Charity parents is this. And they're not all redheads, but you definitely are. Are like at the top of this chain. But it's an advocacy that these parents have to advocate, and because of the way the system is today, and we're not proud of it. We're not proud of our system. I don't think there's a lot of people in that. I guess what do you say? Industry. In that realm that are proud of that, how the system operates and works. Unfortunately, it is what it is. So that being said, our beneficiary parents, and I will say moms, because
It's
the
moms.
are, they're mama bears.
It's
There's
just
something
in you.
fierce.
It's just in you.
It is. And you fight to the finish on this. And so, Tracy and Rhonda and I, we sit here with healthy kids that haven't really faced much. And we have been interviewing, beneficiary parent or mom after beneficiary mom, and some of the dads too. But you're in a different, it's like a different world of what you have to go through as being a mom. Like, it is hard enough to be a mom. Try to do all the right things, make all the right decisions. And then you're faced with a child that is in a system of healthcare that is just, it's bass backwards. Is that how you say it?
good to
And
me.
you have to fight a system that's not really working for you. So,
And without training.
well,
No-
yeah, you're
nobody
raw.
has this.
You're just doing
in
it because you love your kid.
But it's funny how it is a definite personality trait, I think. I've been around this enough to see all the sides, and there's not one right way. Some families just might not have the resources. Some people just might not be able to utilize various things. But those that do, they hit the ground running, and they make
and
such
you
a tremendous
pave the way
difference.
for the
Yes.
future. And that is, one of the most beautiful things that I'm hearing from you, and I hear from some of our other beneficiary families, is that no matter the pain that it's caused you personally, you trust the Lord's plan for your child. And that's probably one of the hardest, tallest orders as a parent, because
For sure.
one thing that I learned being a Christian mom is that my child is not mine, that he's
It's
the
a
Lord's.
stewardship.
My kids are the Lord's. And that's a hard pill to swallow, because
Nobody thinks like that, though.
yeah, and you don't want to, because like, wait, you can't do with him what you want. I have to
Isn't
control.
that everybody's worst fear, though?
100%.
I remember being a new mom, and my oldest daughter had this weird fluke seizure, and my biggest fear was her dying.
Yes.
And now that I'm on the other side of it, that's not to downplay, that
No.
the death of your child isn't horrible, but there comes a point where in everyone's life, whether it's young or old or middle-aged or whatever, you got to really decide, if you are going to walk the walk and talk the talk and live the way you say you're going
And
to
trust,
live.
trust and have faith.
You're going to be tested.
Yep.
The degree varies, but the heart doesn't.
Right.
And that's where I think these parents specifically, their heart has never wavered. And that love, it's just this pure love for their child. If you want to remove the religious side of it out, that's fine. You can bring in the scientific, worldly view of this
Not
true.
sure that actually really works, but okay.
It doesn't, but for the sake of
try.
argument.
Go ahead, try.
It's a pure act of love, and it's absolutely incredible to witness. And
Well, Sabrina, I want to ask you, there's a lot of times that we look at children and we say, that's not fair. Why did that have to happen to a child? Why the child? And what do you say to that?
I definitely have a unique perspective. I know even in my own house, my husband and I don't share this same view, but I just believe that in this world, there is suffering, but God makes up for it. And it doesn't make it okay. I had someone else ask me this recently, thinking back to last July and the floods in Texas and these kids that were asleep
At camp,
and they washed down the river, right? Like, why did they deserve that?
Right.
They didn't deserve
They
that.
did not.
No way.
Yes.
But we live in a fallen world.
Right.
And unfortunately, evil is evil.
It happens.
Right.
Yeah.
And evil can influence this world because this is evil's domain.
Well, and that's where I do believe that, when you have faith, people can think you're crazy, but when you have faith and the promise of the Lord is that he brings them home and that they're there waiting when we get there, and that this eternal life in heaven is so much greater than this life on earth, right? So the loss is not Ford's, the loss is yours.
It's
and
ours.
those that outlive him. And not everyone sees it like that, but I choose to believe in the promise, because I don't know how I could live outside of that. How do you do it?
I don't know how people go through loss. I keep running into the same patterns is like a thing, I guess, in my life. And I've had to learn to recognize patterns of all kinds. And the one thing that keeps coming back, at least for me, and it's not meant to get off topic, I hope I don't, but is that we have a choice. And it all is in what we choose. And
With
we
everything.
either choose
Yes.
joy regardless. And we choose to look for the silver lining. We choose to look for the blessing because it is there.
Right.
But
God
we have to
uses all
train
things
our
for good.
minds to look. And if we don't train our minds to look, then it becomes an entirely different walk. And then that walk
it's dark.
invites the darkness.
Yeah, it's
and then that's where
dark.
you run
Exactly.
into the addiction and the depression and the
And you're looking for
falling
something to
apart.
save you, and nothing's going to.
Nothing fills that void. And so I can honestly say I've been called fake a million times in my life. I've been called crazy. I've been called all the things. I don't care because I know my intricacies with the Lord, and I know how he speaks to me, and I know how the Savior has worked, and I know what I saw and what I felt the morning I found Ford with my daughter next to me. I know that the Savior is here when we allow him to be.
Right.
It's our choice, though.
Totally. Yeah.
And if we turn against that and we follow just our earthly desires, right? If we chase some sort of temporary fix,
The world's messaging to
the
us
world's
versus
messaging,
yeah.
it'll steal us away for
100%,
sure.
yeah.
It'll absolutely steal us away, but it will not ever win if we can snap out of it. And that's the part.
Well, and
that's
I
hard.
think that's something, and like you said, I mean, you're very open on Facebook. You share everything. You share your whole heart. It's all out there. And I get that some people can't get it.
Yes.
At the same time, every time I see a post and I think about those people, I'm like, have you lost a kid? Like, she has every right to say everything and anything that she feels at any given time. And the signs, now I have witnessed signs, and I think there's a lot of people that are kind of afraid. I would say in the Christian realm, they're even afraid to admit that there's signs. Yeah.
Almost,
and
right?
his signs are not necessarily, like, they're not evil.
They're biblical.
There's
They
some,
are biblical.
yeah, and they're beautiful. They give you peace and they give you comfort. And when I see every time you post something that reminds you of Ford or that was Ford, I find so much joy in that. And I think that people should not be afraid to find joy in that kind of thing. But, there's a stigma with death. There's a stigma with mourning. There's a stigma with losing a child. And some people might say, well, how can you ever be happy again? But you still have other children that depend on you, and you have to teach them and show them. And Ford is, like, I think you have taken the ultimate opportunity to show them what an angel is in Ford and how he watches over them and how he's a part of their life still. They lost a physical brother, but they didn't lose a brother. And like you say, and we were saying this before we started recording, how many kids do you have, Sabrina? And she says 6. But when you see the physical living children, there's 5. But she still considers 6. And we were talking about how that's a little bit confusing if, depending on when and where you're asking. And you don't have all the information. But, the kids, it's not, I've never felt like it's unhealthy, because there are times that people keep the deceased alive, and it's an unhealthy thing, and it's not, they're not able to live and find joy and things like that. That's not what we're dealing with here. What we deal with you is that Ford's alive in really embracing that they have this angel that is with them all the time.
Well, I heard that morning. I knew, and I went straight to because at the time I had a relatively large platform. And I kind of have stepped away from it.
Yeah, people followed you because of his journey.
I got so many messages all the time from all over the world about how Ford helped someone come back and pray, and they haven't prayed in 20 years and all these things, right? Like, so I knew that there was a purpose in it. But I distinctly know that I heard an audible voice when I found him. And you can quote me on this and tell me I'm crazy or not, I don't care. But that he's alive in heaven. And we've never once thought of it any differently. And my then daughter, who was 10, my then 10-year-old daughter, she actually got in an argument with my mom. And my mom had made a comment about Ford being dead, and we did not choose to bury Ford. And it was actually my kids' choice. We let them choose, and they said that for them personally, they didn't want to go and visit a grave. So we had him cremated. And they wanted to remember that he's alive in heaven, and that they were familiar at the time enough with the scriptures that we come from dust and from dust we return, right? But they thought of the literal dust, right? And not to be like morbid, but when a body's cremated, what that looks like.
Get a little dusty.
So we had these discussions, which I'm sure some people would think were crazy with our kids at the time, but we let them choose. And my daughter argued with my mom and was like, I don't know why you keep saying he's dead. He's alive in heaven. And if you believe the way you believe, then why are you saying any different? And that's been my kids' thought process, I think. And it's never been that, like, he's walking beside them or that he's going to come show up in their room or any weird stuff like that, right? Yeah. It's that his life is in heaven, but that he is able to give us signs that he's around. And if you were to interview my kids now 5 years later and 8 years post-drowning, I would guarantee you every single one of them, minus the littles, because they don't know life as much. But they do see the miracles.
They've witnessed it. Yeah,
they've witnessed stuff, but they didn't know Ford prior to really the drowning. But my older kids, for sure, would tell you how much he's involved. My son Sawyer, did you hear about Sawyer with the fire department? Sawyer is now he just got taken in as a new cadet for Marietta Fire and Rescue.
I saw that, but
On Sawyer's
there might be more that I don't know.
interview panel, there just happened to be firemen who were present on Ford's call.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And there's all these amazing, like, chill-worthy blessings that come so that my kids know, like, they're not just forgotten.
Right.
God is very present still.
Yeah.
And the way that their lives kind of progress forward. My older kids are teenagers now. We only have a couple years with them left at home, and they still see this. And I couldn't take them to a church building and sit them in a church building and teach them this.
No.
I couldn't take them anywhere except for that this is their life,
Right.
because they've kept their heart open, I think. And they've been willing to
Well, you taught
shy
that. You
away.
led by example, because kids at that age, they follow the lead of
They
their
do,
parents.
But I think they also live in the world, right? And I'm sure if they were talking to their friends could have been like, "You're nuts."
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But maybe they've just had good people around them. I don't know. But it's really neat to watch them grow up.
Yeah.
And to walk different paths. And, some of them might struggle maybe more than others with their faith as they grow. But the one thing that I know that they can always hold on to is that they watched with their little brother a literal life lived in 6 years, a whole life.
Yeah.
They didn't see him get married. They didn't see him have kids, but they saw his profound impact and how far-reaching it was, and how special that I think that made them feel. And so for their own individual worth and their own whatever they're going to bring into the world when they're adults, they're going to carry that with them.
100%.
And that's not something you can teach.
No, it is. Yeah, they grew up a lot in a lot of ways through all that.
Sadly, I think they grew up too fast, in a lot of ways. They didn't get to enjoy their childhood.
Everybody's got stuff, right? I mean, that's
sure.
their thing. I mean, they'll make their way. They have great foundation.
They're fine.
Fundamental. Yeah, they're fundamental. I mean, Lily is just, she's so the role of the oldest daughter and the mom, the second mom to everybody.
First mom sometimes.
Yeah. No, they all have really strong roles, but the beautiful thing, so through Charity for Charity and to bring it back around, like this family, constantly, like they didn't let go of us after Ford went to heaven. They embraced us and allowed us to be a part of their lives. And little Coral and Allison have something special. And just I always say, like, one of the most beautiful things for me with Charity for Charity is the siblings of the beneficiaries, or the children of the beneficiaries, depending on what time and why, who, what, when, where, and why they came to us. When they get to grow up with us, it's like we're a part of their lives. It's something that, these kids come in, even the cool older ones, they still come for their hugs, and they love and they connect to us. And I just have the most privileged honor of that, of just having that relationship. And, Ford's siblings are super special in our hearts.
Well, it says a lot, too, because the reality is the siblings or the children of someone who has some medical catastrophe and whatever that is, they get forgotten about.
Yeah.
They're not seen.
Yeah.
And they know
right.
that. And so I think that's one of the best things about this organization is that you give them life. When, like, that was not for Ford. I mean, it was for Ford, but it was not for Ford.
Right.
Ford didn't get to participate. And the kids still remember, and it still comes up. The memories still pop up on my phone. We still talk about it. And it's a true core memory in some of their darkest days. And that's the best part about Charity for Charity. And
just God orchestrate, like God uses us.
For sure.
And, we don't even know what we're doing.
But you have
We
to
don't
give
know what
yourself
we're
credit.
doing.
Listen, all of you guys, but specifically Charity and even Allison, right? She's working on all these things, but it's your heart. It was your idea. And so you become that instrument. And look at how far reaching it is. And everybody has this same connection with Charity for Charity. And that's why it's so remarkable, because this world sucks these days, right? Like it's getting sad.
It can be
but
ugly,
it's such a bright light. And for so many people
sure.
are going through such a hard thing. So
Well, I'll say that, we do give a hard time when we'll bug
we don't.
the Benny families. We'll be like, Sabrina, are you guys coming? And when this family shows up, we get so excited because they're
We're
just
busy.
abundance of love, and
There's a lot of us.
There's a lot of them.
We're
And,
kind of loud.
Christmas. We know they're going to be there at Christmas, and Stars of the Valley. I think you only miss one.
Yeah.
But and any time that we hound you or bug you or call you out, it's because we really love you, and we want you there, and we it's just the biggest joy to have you guys involved in the organization, and thank you for sticking with us and staying a part of it. And when you're not there, you're missed a lot.
I appreciate that. And if you ever stop bugging, I'll be offended. Personally. Even Allison is, are you coming? And we can't, I have my kids play. They're all super active in sports. And so
she has a lot of them.
We're just in that season of life right now where it's hard. But the nice thing is it is home. And if we miss a couple of years even, it's not weird. I don't feel like.
Yeah.
No. And you're always welcome back. You're always welcome there.
I just mean it's not like it's like nothing's passed, right?
No, 100%.
If we haven't gotten to see you, it's just walking right back into home.
That's right.
And that's the
you
best
can't
part.
miss the 20th anniversary though.
We will be there for that. We just won't be there this weekend because
I know.
never-ending baseball is.
But that's okay. We'll do it every year. This weekend's our beneficiary cruise, the Harbor Cruise, and it is one of our most favorite Benny and Wish Brigade intimate events that we have the whole boat, and we do invite some outsiders, but for the most part, it's just fellowship with the kid and the dance floor, and
It's
we
just
just have
a great
so much
time.
fun.
I don't think anyone ever leaves and was like, "Man, why did I go to that?"
Exactly. No, everybody loves it. It is a favorite, and it's a costly one that we find so much value in that I would never not do it. I just is so beautiful. So we're gonna miss you guys this weekend, but we are grateful that you have continued to stay a part of us, and we know Ford would want that because he would want his siblings to be loved on, and
it was a thing though. I remember Frank and I were like, "Is it weird that he's not here and we're showing up?" I do remember for a minute, and we were like, nah.
Yeah. Well, especially I think that there's some of the families have pulled away a little bit and a lot, but you have all these little ones that grew up with us. So I wish they would all stay in, but I get the older ones or people that were it was their wife and they've remarried. That makes sense, and I get it, but for you guys, and I hope they'll come to the 20th. I hope they'll come back, but you guys with the kids, I think that, Cora doesn't know life without us.
She doesn't.
She doesn't know life
She actually was
without
mad
us.
that I was coming here and she wasn't invited.
Yeah.
And she wanted to know when she was coming. And are we going to Christmas? And are we going to see them with the Cowboys? We didn't get to go to the Cowboys.
Oh, yeah. Are you
this
coming
year.
to Wow Fest on October 10th?
I hope so.
I hope so too. But so she doesn't know, and Suddy doesn't really know life without us either because he was so little.
They're 8 and 7, so literally they have.
Yeah.
They've known you their entire lives.
Exactly.
What are your kids' names again? Just because I don't know.
Lily is the oldest.
Lily, girl.
Sawyer. Fisher. Ford is number 4. And then Sutton and Cora.
Okay.
There's a lot.
Yeah,
There's
that is
a lot. And I'll tell you, Sawyer and Fisher, we get confused all the time because they're the two older boys and they're right after each other.
All you gotta remember is Sawyer is the spicy redhead. I have one redhead.
The redhead. Okay. Sawyer,
cute.
spicy.
Spicy
Okay. That'll help us remember because I'm always same with Nyrie's family, Romelo's family, because they have all the boys, and I'm like, I don't know which one's which.
My boys will never be offended if you get their names backwards
Mixed
because
up.
they just are used to it.
Okay.
Sutton is like a mini clone of Fisher, and at school,
It's true.
They always was like synonymous, and the teachers still mess up their names, but they don't care. But yes.
Yeah, but we feel like we're family. Like we're like, how does family get the names wrong?
They aren't ever offended. Trust me. Don't ever.
Well,
feel
I
bad,
like
but
the spicy redhead.
Spicy Sawyer.
So Spicy Sawyer helps a lot. So that like in the moment, because sometimes it takes us like we can figure it out, but not in the moment. Like we're like,
Or they're walking at you and you're like, which one are you right now?
Yeah, we're like, oh, we knew it. Shoot. But in the moment, those are things that help like a lot, especially with all the kids. Yeah, I got to find out from Nairi how I remember those.
Yeah,
even little
seriously.
Jacob, Joshua, and Noah. But Joshua, we always wanted to name a totally different. No, Matthew. See? It's Matthew. It's not Joshua. I always do that. So
There's a lot of kids for
I
you to
know,
keep track
I
of.
know.
You guys are doing great. 'cause
and
I
we
couldn't
know them
do
all.
that. Yes.
It's not like we don't know them all, but it's like
It's just a lot.
I don't know, these
It's a
names
lot.
like kind of get so I always do that with Matthew. I always want to say Joshua for some reason, and then Nairi's kids, I always get like the two middle boys mixed up. Anyway, but all I can say is that we're so blessed to have everybody in our lives, and just love you, appreciate you, love the mama, the lioness you are, and how your passion for everything.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
I
and
appreciate
you're an incredible photographer too, by the way.
I wish I had more time for that.
Yeah.
Now it's my animals and my kids. Those
Yeah,
are
you
pictures.
do. You do. So, in summarizing, what do we? I mean, can we shout out anything? Do you want to promote anything or talk about anything, or what do you want to? What do you want to say?
I could probably definitely get back to work taking pictures.
Okay, so how do they get a hold of you? Because you have an art, like it's an art. It's a beautiful art for that.
I definitely do. I need to be home long enough to finish my website, so someone can just text me.
So how do
And-
they text you?
951-595-5895. I have a website, but it's dormant at the moment. So
Well, and if you need to get a hold of her and you didn't write it down or you're driving or whatever, you can reach out to me or Bumbershoot Charity or Charity for Charity. We can get a
Yeah.
hold of it. But yeah, Sabrina is amazing. She did our family photos a few years ago.
Oh,
Yep. we're due for
Carlo
more.
was
Two?
one.
One?
I think he was one
With
and a
his
half.
curls.
He was
The most
6.
amazing.
Yeah. I still have some of those, actually a few of those photos
they're
on
the
my
ones
wall.
hanging in your living
Yeah.
room. You took those; are beautiful.
Yeah.
I didn't know-
We haven't had a family photo since then. And we have another grandson.
Yeah.
Oh,
he
you gotta
needs- he
redo
needs to
them.
do
Redo them.
Gotta do it again.
Yeah.
They were great.
And but she's very talented, has an incredible eye.
I used to be way busier. I used to be a wedding
Yeah, you
photographer,
did.
so
Yeah.
I just got busy with my life.
Yeah.
I don't let my
But
kids
now
drive,
Lily's
so-
gonna have her license and drive,
Maybe.
right?
She wants her license, but I'm a strict mom, so
Yeah, you need to line up on that situation because you could have some help here, sister.
she's gonna have to drive soon.
Yeah,
I literally
you're gonna
can't
need
be
it.
in. I'm
Yeah.
like in 5 places at once.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's
that's
tough.
hard. But
Yeah.
yes, that'd be great. Thanks.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for being here today. Absolutely love you so much.
Love
I'm
you.
glad
Thank
the
you
girls
so
got to get to know
much.
you a
Yeah.
little more too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
This
good
was
to
fun.
meet you.
Thank you. Same.
You guys, that's not all, but that's not all. We'll be back next week with, I don't know who, because I don't know if it's next week or
2 weeks.
we have Ricky next week. Yeah, it just depends on who.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see
Yeah.
who we have. I'm
Something.
hoping, I have a few feelers out there, so we'll see.
Come,
All right. Have a
come,
good-
come do it.
It's not
It's
not
painless.
scary,
It's
right?
painless.
Sabrina?
Yeah.
It's so fun.
It's fun.
All right. Everybody have a great week. Blessed week, and follow us on all the places. Subscribe and follow. All right.
Yes,
Take care.
please. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.